Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by and welcome to Visual BI's webinar. Today we'll be discussing the battle of the EIM and ETL tools, where we will be exploring the latest trends in data integration in the enterprise space, comparing SAP options like BODS, SLT, SDI, and Data Hub versus non-SAP options like Talend, Informatica, Mulesoft, DataStage, and Microsoft SSIS. During the presentation, all participants will be in a listen-only mode. If you have a question during the presentation, please submit it via the Q&A portion of the screen. Simply type your question into the box and click the send button. Our presenter will address questions at the end of the presentation, time permitting. If you don't hear an answer to your question today, don't worry, we will deliver answers to you individually after the webinar. The webinar is being recorded and a link to the replay will be sent to you via email. Presenting today is Arun S., a manager at Visual BI Solutions with 14 years of experience in large-scale EIM and ETL implementation. I will now turn the presentation over to Arun.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Arunkumar Suryanarayanan, EIM Practice Lead, Visual BI. I'm extremely excited to present this webinar on data integration tools. Enterprise data is exploding and data-intensive computing demands keep increasing, more so in the space of data mining and analytics. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what's happening in data integration, and that's what we're going to be talking all about. Let me walk through the webinar agenda really quick. We're going to have 3 sections for webinar today. We're going to have the introduction and context, where I'm going to talk about Visual BI, who we are, what we do. We're going to do context setting for data integration, and we're going to look at the changing expectations and DI trends that are coming up. In the section 2, we will be looking at leading integration offerings, some webinar context again, some of the classifications and use in tools and use cases. Then we'll explore some of the integration tools. We will look some of the DI platforms. And in section 3, we're going to talk about use cases for the tools, the comparisons between them, and some thinking points with which you will leave today, based on which you can look at streamlining your data integration and data management. Let's move on. So Visual BI is an end-to-end BI and analytics company. We do consulting services, we do have software products, we are into training, and we do analytics solution. I'm very proud to say that we are one of the companies who are both SAP partner and Microsoft partner. We have about 100 customers across the different portfolios that we have. And we have a gamut of offerings as we see here. And interestingly, 70% of our revenues come from non-visualization initiatives that we drive. The data integration introduction and context. So let's take a step back and see about the evolution of DI tools. So if you look at it, we had XML source, there used to be flat files, and there was RFC based connection, Java JDBC based connection, and multiple systems were there which were offering data that needs to be integrated. Earlier, back in the days, programs used to be written or procedure used to be written separately to handle different types of integration needs, and it was brought into the target system. And now the data integration vendors moved on to a consolidated offering where all of this is packaged into one solution, which gives various options for connectivity. The differentiation between the vendors in terms of capability is actually becoming marginal. It's very, very thin today. And as a next step, what we are noticing is it is moving to become a platform-based offering that can do a lot of plug and play and gives a much more sophistication to do data integration. As you can see, you have 2 options, either data integration platforms or API integration platforms. What are the challenges in data integration? What are the challenges that becomes expectation when you try to integrate data? In today's context, what is relevant is we have a rapid increase in the volume of data that is getting generated. Essentially, there are too many data producers today, and the velocity at which that gets produced is also very high. And there is plethora of systems. Earlier, disparate sources used to be a problem, but today, if you see, after SaaS-based business applications started evolving, there is so many applications that are available for enterprises to leverage, and that data has to be integrated. So it is actually an endless opportunity if you try to connect to all of the systems. So the connectivity option seems to be keep on expanding. Connectivity to cloud is becoming very important because enterprises are adopting to cloud, or enterprises are leveraging services that are based out of cloud. IoT sensors are generating a lot of data and streaming them, which is also quite important to do analytics for enterprises. So the data integration platform need to support that as well. And platform-based analytics is also the need of the day. So how do you scale for predictive? Do you have capability to predict and prescribe a business situation or a scenario that you're thinking about? Is also becoming very important. Similarly, something like data blending, there is a need for self-service data preparation where business analysts and power users want to prepare their own data for a quick POC for a large analytics initiative without the intervention of the IT. So a self-service aspect is coming to the data management side as well. So from the challenges, how the expectations have been changing in the data integration landscape. Let's take a quick look at it. We were writing programs to do data integration, which became tool-based consolidated offerings. And from then, it became a multiple source enablement and multiple targets were enabled within the same consolidated offering. And one was winning over the other in terms of the maturity that they showed in terms of the source connectivity. Then operational resilience like error handling, automated recovery, scalability, those things made the difference in tools, and they started becoming prevalent across tools. Then there was a need for doing data quality, like cleansing and enrichment on the go. That got added into the tools. Then virtualization of data. I don't want to bring in my data today unless I know that is important for my analytic purpose. Only then I want to bring the data. That is, virtualization became the norm. Then real-time integration was expected. And then connectivity to unstructured data came in. And today we are looking at Internet of Things, predictive capability, global standards like OData, API connectivity, and like this, we are culminating to a point where it becomes a modern data platform that can offer a wide variety of sophisticated capabilities together. So this is how the expectations have been changed. And some of the trends are also coming in, like what do you want to integrate tomorrow? I know the enterprises are bringing in structured data today. Some of the enterprises are looking at competitive information through AC Nielsen's or IDC, and they are bringing that information to analytics. Social media integration have started, but it has a long way to go. However, bringing in sensor data, quick streams, server logs, voice, video, PDF, PSTs, and whole world of unstructured data is out there for us to explore. So what we notice is it's always easier to integrate a processed unstructured data into a structured EDW to do correlation analysis, and it will add more value to business insights. So if you're integrating unstructured tomorrow, so do you want a landscape that can handle unstructured better? Could data lakes become the de facto? Possibly, because data lakes offer ELT approach. They have schemaless data handling capability, and they facilitate native form of storing the data. They do offer data preparation on the fly, and they are very user friendly in terms of driving agile and self-service data management. And how does your landscape take the shape? In the current context, we're looking at public clouds, we're looking at private clouds, we're looking at enterprise data centers, which are physical, and there are a lot of endpoints which we are crisscrossing, and we need to access the old system of records as much as we need to access the new systems that give us current information from the cloud. And this is all increasing the overall productivity of what we do, however, posing governance and scalability challenge. So how do we handle that? Or how does your data integration strategy allowing you to handle that is also an important question. One of the tips we have here is we need to avoid cloud fragmentation. For example, if a business functions implement a solution in cloud A and another business function is implementing a solution in cloud B, and in tomorrow you want to bring the data from A to B, most of the cases we've noticed that it has to come from A to land and then land to B, which creates a lot of hops. We need to streamline that as well and make sure the hops is minimized for better data management. And global interoperability standards are becoming more prevalent to share data between applications and systems. We have OData protocol, and we also have API. Now, the data integration tools are giving capability to API, even though there are specialized softwares that is available. This is just for a reason that a one-off use case, which could not be handled by a DI tool, should not lose an adoption. So hence API is supported, and OData is becoming popular these days because of its global enterprise standard benchmark that it has achieved. So where are we coming to with the discussion about these trends and the challenges that we spoke about? We are trying to align the data integration tool with the data warehouse modernization wave that is going on. So what is a modern data platform? It's an extensive platform that allows you to add more sources and targets at will, as against the complex ETL structure of an traditional EDW. It is more robust and delivers performance by accommodating new data types, facilitating a lot of advanced analytics, which definitely your old EDW was not able to do. And in the long run, it reduces the spend for the IT. The cost of ownership is much better in modern data platforms compared to the traditional EDW. With this being said, we are coming to a point where we are ready to jump into section 2, where we're going to look at leading integration offerings. As I said, I would like to set a couple of quick context here before we move on further. So we have API management, which is going to be talking about agile data loads, small data volumes, and more event-based. And we have data integration on the other side, which has batch intensive, high data volumes, predictable data loads. You write the business logic in the ETL integrator space that you have, and you merge the data to the target. For this particular webinar, we'll be focusing more on the data integration category as against the API management. So what we're looking at from Gartner perspective here, to your left, you have the data integration tools quadrant, and to your right, you have the full cycle API management. We have picked Mulesoft from the full cycle API management for a quick discussion today. And from the data integration tools, we have chosen Informatica, IBM, SAP, and Talend from the leaders group, and Microsoft from the challengers group. And coming to the use cases discussion perspective, we have divided into two streams. SAP, you come from an SAP shop if you have 80% of the data in SAP ERP, 20% comes from other systems. Critical operations and analytic reports are on ERP data. As against, if your data comes from structured non-SAP systems and 20% comes from purpose-driven applications, it could also have SAP systems, and your in-house EDW that is built on RDBMS or data warehouse appliance is facilitating your critical reporting and operational reporting, then you come from a non-SAP use case landscape. With that being said, let's quickly look at what are we going to see today. From the SAP shop, we're looking at SAP Data Services, popularly called as BODS or BODS, SAP Smart Data Integration, SDI, SAP Landscape Transformation, SLT, and Cloud Platform Integration Data Services, SAP CPDS. And from the non-SAP offerings, we're going to look at Informatica PowerCenter, Talend, Mulesoft, IBM DataStage, Microsoft SQL Server Integration Services. And from data integration platforms, we will be looking at Azure Data Factory and SAP Data Hub. SAP BODS, SAP Data Services, which is the name that has been changed recently after the 4.2 version. SAP Data Services is a comprehensive data integration tool which can connect to several sources and targets. It can support unstructured data and structured data, and has inbuilt data quality transform if you want to do on-the-fly cleansing, enrichment, and those kind of things. It's a popular SAP tool. It can help you create a single vision of truth pretty quick. SAP Landscape Transformation has a purpose of real-time replication to HANA. It does that very well. It can also connect to other databases, but predominantly used with HANA. It offers both trigger and log-based replication. It has a great association with HANA Studio for ease of use, and operations happen at the database level, so it is pretty fast. SAP Smart Data Integration is a ETL tool that is integrated into HANA. It offers data provisioning and transformation capabilities in memory. It can do batch processing, it can do real time, it can also do federation through smart data access. It can actually virtualize table for you. Everything happens in memory because it is part of HANA. And smart data quality offers a real-time high-speed cleansing and data enrichment opportunity. This is one of the lightweight options used for data replication. At this point, I'd like to introduce a case study based on an agile data warehouse, which we did on SAP Cloud Platform for our customer KMG. As you can see, the customer had SAP ECC on HANA and SAP other SAP systems as well. We used trigger-based replications and file-based replication using smart data integration and moved the data to the base layer. And from there, HANA modeling was done to do the calculation views, and the analytics was delivered in SAP Analytics Cloud. The business insights and the data value was delivered to the customer in optimum time frame. Coming back to the tools, we are now looking at SAP Cloud Platform Integration Data Services. So CPDS can be called as a close cousin to SDI. It has a very lightweight agent that runs on-prem, and it has the rest of the things sitting on the cloud. It effectively does batch and scheduled integration between on-prem and cloud platform. So the differentiation that SAP offers is it can do only batch loading, and it has a very low footprint compared even footprint is lower than what SDI demands. So putting together this SAP tools, if you look at from a deployment perspective and look at the dimension of server size, capabilities, and SAP Cloud Platform integration, the server needs are high for BODS. It reduces as you go to the right to SLT, to smart data integration, to CPDS. The capabilities also take the same form, where the capabilities are high because BODS is a full scale ETL tool, and SLT, SDA, and CPDS, the capability reduce as you go to the right. But the cloud platform integration factor increases as you move from BODS to CPDS. Now we are jumping into the non-SAP world of tools. So we'll see the market leader first, Informatica POWERCENTER, which is the most established pure play data integrator from Informatica, the data integration company. It is a meta-driven data integration tool. It has a cloud-based option from the latest version. It facilitates team-based design. It has typical data integration needs that you have. It has all the transformations and capabilities that you need to fulfill a typical data integration, and it is one of the most popularly used tools worldwide. From IBM Analytics, there is a wide array of offerings of data management solution, of which InfoSphere DataStage is the comprehensive data integration product from IBM. It offers extensive parallel processing capabilities. It has a lot of enterprise connectivity. It is one of the tools that can best handle incoming schema changes at runtime. Here, we are moving on to another case study where we migrated or re-engineered DataStage jobs to SAP BODS data services jobs for our customer Mead Johnson Nutrition. There were 350 ETL objects in data services that had to be rewritten, which belonged to 20 plus process areas. So we had to ensure there is a minimal disruption for the business because we had to cut off the DataStage jobs and instantly bring up the data services. It has to be seamless for the business. This initiative was undertaken by Mead Johnson to increase productivity and reduce cost. The results, we reduced more than 50% of the tickets that came as part of the support, and we delivered significant performance improvement across 10 plus process areas. Coming back to the tools, we're looking at SQL Server Integration Services. So it is a cost-effective data integration tool because it's bundled with Microsoft SQL Server Enterprise Edition. It is well suited to enterprise scale deployments. It has a custom If you want to do a lot of custom plugin and changes, it can happen through the .NET coding. It is very flexible and robust. It has a very tight coupling to Azure Data Factory, which is becoming popular. It can offer best-in-class integration for unstructured data, that is log, clob, blob. In that space, SSIS really does well. Talend Open Studio. This is an integration tool in open source platform, and it is tightly coupled with the Apache ecosystem. So Talend offers Open Studio for DI, which is a free software, and there's a data management platform, which is a licensed software for enterprises. So Talend is easy to use. You can get started on Talend pretty quick, and the point about Talend is there is a very active user community who feeds information or responds instantly so that you can keep the activity going. The user community is so popular with respect to Talend because it is open source. And when it comes to big data integration, specifically with respect to Hadoop, the extensibility is very good and the custom components can be created at will. So it is actually gaining a lot of traction in the big data integration space. Mulesoft ANYPOINT platform. So this is the full cycle API management tool that we have. So it has something called Mule Enterprise Service Bus, which is a Java-based lightweight enterprise service bus and an integration framework. There are hundreds of pre-built and certified connectors, and ANYPOINT is a runtime engine and a platform that facilitates this integration. It can support rapid development. It has connectivity to many systems, and it offers a lot of visibility and control. This is definitely a best-in-class API management platform. And as we all know, due to its popularity, it was acquired by Salesforce.com in 2018. So we talked about the individual data integration tools, but why enterprises look up to integration platforms? Why is the need for integration platforms? Application and business process integration is becoming the norm, and they would like to do that with the integration option that they have today. And data virtualization is really important today in the perspective that a lot of analytics initiatives start something small, and for something small, they don't want to spend a lot of time. They just want to federate data, quickly verify the correctness of the data or the usefulness of the data before they embark on any large initiatives. And increased scalability expectations is there in terms of rapidly adding sources or targets. Enterprise messaging like XML, JSON is also the need of the hour. And cloud integration is becoming very prevalent, and the platform has to support cloud integration. And extensibility features in terms of writing your own adapter to connect to a particular unique source system, or writing your own component to handle a specific business scenario which is unique for your business context is also an expectation today. So that's exactly why enterprises are heading towards integration platforms, and the integration vendors are also trying to offer a lot of platforms which consolidates more than the possible offerings in a sophisticated form. Microsoft's platform offering is Azure Data Factory. As you can see, it can connect to traditional sources, excuse me, and new sources as well. Ingest, prepare, transform, analyze data, and it can publish for consumption. It offers hybrid integration. It can do orchestration of ETL, ELT. SSIS is also evolving day by day to become more tightly coupled with ADF. And the governance aspect that is offered by Azure Data Factory fulfills all the security and the compliance needs that are expected by an enterprise. So let's say you have SQL Server integration services and you've been using it, you heard about Azure Data Factory, and you're thinking, so do I have to reinvest? Am I looking at a competition now for SSIS? If you're thinking about it, you're not alone. Actually, it's not the case. As of today, Azure Data Factory is a complementary service to SSIS and not a competing one. For best benefit, it is better to leverage hybrid deployment, which will have both SSIS and Azure Data Factory for best-in-class data management. Because as you can see, SSIS converts native data into transformed data to push it into EDW and facilitates business reporting. But the native form is retained within Azure Data Factory, and on a need basis, the transform load part converts it for reporting needs and pushes it out. So it follows an ELT approach. A quick comparison here, the methodology in SSIS is ETL, ADF is ELT. The programming is drag and drop in SSIS, it's JSON scripts in ADF. The environment has to be set up, but in ADF it is Azure managed. Data lineage option is available in Azure Data Factory, and HD Insight compatibility is brilliant with respect to Azure. Inbuilt transformation, there are a lot of transformation in SSIS, but custom code is needed in ADF. From a pricing perspective, pay by features for SSIS if you do a feature pack or an add-on, but ADF is pay by usage. So we look at an Azure implementation case study at this moment. So this is a project that we did for a large multi-brand corporation in the US. Here, Caroline Analytics consider of 10 mission critical KPIs that were delivered as part of this solution, where Azure ETL with performance and flexibility and ease of maintenance was delivered to the customer. SQL and functions were used to handle complex business logic. The KPIs that were delivered instantly leveraged by the business functions, and customer realized the return on investment instantly post go live. And this is one of the very successful projects that we have delivered. And as you can see, the data is pulled from the data sources. It goes through the data lake store and it is pushed to a SQL data warehouse. The analysis services, which is in memory, facilitates reporting through Power BI, spreadsheets, and SQL Server reporting services. SAP's platform offering is SAP Data Hub. SAP Data Hub is a data ops management solution that can do your orchestration, pipelining, agile data sharing that you need in this complex landscape that enterprises are managed. So it's a new kind of offering that gives ability to comprehensively tackle the data challenges that you have. So if you look at the architecture on the right, you see the SAP Data Hub, and it can connect to enterprise BI tools, it can connect to SAP HANA, SAP EIM tools. So if you are in an SAP landscape and you have done investments on a lot of SAP products to do various types of integration and other analytical needs, you don't have to worry because SAP Data Hub sits on top of it. It facilitates a cockpit. It facilitates a method to orchestrate all of this. It leverages, it gives you a single point of visibility across, and there is a lot of machine learning capability, predictive capability. It also gives opportunity to take in streaming data. It has SAP Vora capability, comes with SAP Data Hub, and it also enhances the governance and security that you may need for your organization. So SAP Data Hub is definitely an integration platform that is to be watched out in the future. With this, we are coming to the use cases and comparison of the tools, section 3. So what we will be looking at, we will look at SAP products, SAP Data Services, SAP Smart Data Integration, SAP Landscape Transformation, and SAP CPDS. We will look at the use cases of these tools. We will compare these tools first within the SAP ecosystem, and then the non-SAP use cases will be dealt with in brief. And beyond that, we will establish some evaluation criteria for our comparison. And from that point, all of these SAP products will be combined under one grouping called SAP, which will then be compared against Informatica, PowerCenter, DataStage, SSIS, and Talend. So the use cases of SAP. If you're an SAP shop looking at a high volume, high throughput needs, you have a lot of database operations that you want to do, but you want to make sure it goes through the push down capability, advanced transform requirements there. You have a lot of data quality to do. You have a bunch of non-SAP systems as targets and also as sources. Then SAP Data Services is definitely the tool for you. If you're trying to do real-time replication of data from SAP systems into HANA, and SLT is one of the best options with light footprint. It offers minimal transformation, but it offers CDC capability as well. If you are using HANA as your mainstream data warehouse in-memory computing platform, and you want a highly extensible SDK-based ETL tool, I mean, that can help you write your own adapters for connectivity, and it also gives you data quality on the fly. It gives you a lot of other advanced capabilities within HANA, in-memory computing advantages as well. Then SAP Smart Data Integration is definitely the way to go. It can also create high available DR systems. You can create easy concurrent systems using Smart Data Integration. And CPDS, which is a small subset of capability from SDI, offers a very low footprint to integrate data from an on-premise system to an on-cloud application. And as we discussed already, the server needs is more for SAP Data Services. It is slightly lesser for SLT, and it becomes the least in terms of footprint when you go towards SDI and CPDS. A quick comparison sheet for you here. In terms of data replication, all of the tools can give you the replication capability. Sources, yes, you have a lot of sources that you can connect to from all of these tools. In terms of target, SAP BODS is a full-fledged ETL tool that gives you a large variety of targets to connect to. However, SLT technically can connect to any database, but used mostly in the HANA context. Smart Data Integration and CPDS can connect only to HANA database. Real-time replication is possible by BODS, SLT, and SDI. It's not possible in CPDS. Data quality capability is available only in Data Services and Smart Data Integration. Predictive capability is available only in Smart Data Integration through the predictive libraries that are available inside HANA. Change data capture is available in BODS, SLT, SDI. It's not available in CPDS. All of the tools can schedule job for you, and the server requirement goes heavy with BODS, and it goes down, tapers towards CPDS. Let's quickly look at the use cases of integration tools coming from non-SAP grouping. We have categorized this as enterprise use cases for Informatica, IBM DataStage, and Microsoft SSIS, while the Talend use case is an open source use case. So if you are looking at an environment that is needs to deliver a high performance batch processing ETL and gives you a comprehensive metadata reporting, and it needs to give you an ETL that has rapid prototyping for agile data integration. It needs to have partitioning options. It has to do push down mechanism. It meets all the typical requirement like your lookup, your aggregation, your joiner, your insert else update strategy, and all of those. Informatica PowerCenter delivers that optimal fashion. IBM DataStage also performs the same capabilities as we discussed for Informatica, but there is a particular place where it excels, which is runtime column propagation. If you have schema changes that changes dynamically at runtime, increase in number of columns or decrease in number of columns at runtime, the mechanism DataStage used to handle it is amazing, and it's a unique capability of DataStage. And it also offers massive parallel processing ETL platform. Microsoft SQL Server is used if you are a SQL Server intensive shop, because Enterprise Edition gives you SSIS. And if you are looking at a low cost RDBMS based data mart, then you will go for SSIS more often. If your organization is predominantly on SQL Server across the board for operational and analytical reporting, then using SSIS as an integration tool is a best fit. It has a very good connectivity to Azure today, and who knows, the capabilities are evolving. It probably will become more popular as the capabilities of Azure gets bigger and bigger and more comprehensive. From an open source use case perspective, if the enterprise accommodates open source solutions, then Talend is definitely an option to consider. If you have a business scenario that actually demands a lot of custom components to be created because your business case is very unique, or unique business scenarios comes about pretty often, and you have a lot of Java capable skills in your team, and you want to adopt a tool that is close to it, then Talend becomes a tool of choice. And if you have a lot of integration needs with big data at rest or big data in motion, then Talend does much better in the space of big data because of its open source capabilities. Now we will look at the evaluation criteria for tool comparison. As we discussed, the capability perspective, the difference in the tools are really marginal, but each and every evaluation criteria described here talks about what is available in the tools, and the comparison slides are going to give you a look into some of the differences that we have found in terms of these evaluation criteria. So when you look at connectivity today, all of the tools give you connection to the system that is shown here: enterprise applications, databases, appliances, and standards. If you take transformations, we are looking at the basic transformation, intermediate transformations, and the complex transformations. And again, the capabilities are available with all of the tools. So we will be discussing more on how do you write custom transforms and what kind of a capability that each tool is offering to write a custom transform will be discussed more. From a data quality perspective, the tools have data quality capability, but how are they being delivered? What are the differences between the tools is what we'll be looking at. From a big data integration standpoint, we will be looking at how the tool can connect to Hadoop and the components of Hadoop and what kind of capability they have. Do they offer it on cloud? Does the tool come on cloud? Will be looked at in the cloud-based criteria. Does the tool process real-time data ingestion? Is what will be discussed in real time. And all of the tools do distributed architecture, scale vertically and horizontally, and offer capability in parallel data processing. But what is the thin line of difference between them will be discussed in the scalability context. So that's comparison slide 1, where we're talking about connectivity. So if you see the SAP products, as I mentioned, all the SAP tools are categorized and grouped into the first column called SAP. So the SAP products offer excellent out-of-the-box application connectivity at no cost. So that is simply excellent if you're in an SAP ecosystem. Similarly, IBM DataStage offers similar connectivity to IBM applications. All the other systems have enterprise application connectivity. Some comes with a cost, some comes with an add-on, and the differences in terms of connectivity is actually becoming marginal, and connectivity along with the ecosystem in which the integration tools are being used plays an important role when you're trying to select a tool. Transformations. When we look at the transformations, SAP Data Services has user-defined transform, which can be extended using Python scripts for any unique use cases that you have. SDA offer customization through SDK. In Informatica PowerCenter, there is a Java transform that allows customization. DataStage has custom routines that can be created, which can be called from custom transforms. Visual Basic and C# scripting allows you to customize transforms in SSIS. But if you go to Talend, every transformation is called a component. New custom components can be created, and more wonderful aspect there is something called Talend Exchange Community that offers a variety of custom components which you can right away download and install. From a data quality perspective, SAP has a built-in data quality capabilities in SAP Data Services and Smart Data Quality. It's delivered to you when you adopt these tools. SQL Server Data Quality Services is an add-on that needs to be added to SQL Server if you want to do data quality in SSIS. Talend Open Studio for Data Quality is a free tool for data quality, which is a separate tool from Talend Open Studio for data integration. Or when you go to the Enterprise Edition, that is data management platform, the data quality features are inbuilt into it. Coming back to Informatica PowerCenter and DataStage, they have different tools for delivering data quality. Informatica Data Quality IDQ is a comprehensive DQ tool which needs to be purchased. And similarly, IBM Quality Stage is a separate tool which needs to be purchased and licensed. From a big data integration perspective, high performance native adapters to connect to Hive, MongoDB, and other Hadoop components are available in SAP tools. There is an add-on in PowerCenter to connect to Hadoop for Informatica PowerCenter. In DataStage, there is a particular stage. A stage is nothing but a component or a data source which you can use to accomplish a data integration step. A big data file stage is available that allows you to connect to the HDFS file system directly to read the file. In Microsoft, there are two options. You have a Hadoop connection manager, and you also have a feature pack that allows you to connect to the Azure HD Insight. When you go to Talend, there is extensive capability in big data integration because it's open source, and whatever you write in Talend also becomes a Java code. So write once, deploy anywhere kind of code. So because of this open source nature and the Java foundation that it has got, it has an amazing integration with big data systems. From a cloud-based offering perspective, in the SAP shop, we have Smart Data Integration and Cloud Platform Integration Data Services offered in cloud. BODS or SAP Data Services does not come in cloud. PowerCenter on cloud is available. Information Server on cloud is available. SSIS is also not in cloud, but Azure Data Factory is a cloud offering, and the SSIS packages and workloads are getting integrated into cloud. This is in public preview now. It is getting integrated into cloud. And Talend has a lot of Talend Cloud editions available. From a real-time capability, Smart Data Integration's core capability is real-time replication. It is enabled for Oracle, SQL Server, SAP systems, Teradata, even Twitter. And System Landscape Transform performs real-time replication of data from SAP systems into HANA. PowerCenter has an add-on called PowerCenter Real Time, which facilitates real time. And rest of the tools has one way or the other to facilitate real time, but may not be a comprehensive offering, but they do have tools from some of the other portfolios that does that. In terms of scalability, data services has a good design time practice called degree of parallelism that allows you to do parallelism. And Smart Data Integration offers a flow graph task partitioning, which allows a task to get partitioned. It consumes RAM accordingly based on the partitioning categories that you set, and it brings data very fast because it processes the source data parallelly. Dynamic partitioning is a very powerful feature in Informatica, which allows you to do parallel processing. IBM DataStage is popular for its highly parallel architecture. It has a separate specific type of job called parallel jobs, which allow you to take the inherit the capability of data pipelining and the parallelization. SSIS also provides great horizontal and vertical scaling capabilities. Talend also offers similar scaling capabilities and parallelization. Also, in terms of big data integration, it has been benchmarked specifically against some of the MapReduce programs, and has been proven that Talend performs much better in terms of big data integration as against a MapReduce function or a program. So let's do a quick take on the operational features these tools offer to us. From a monitoring perspective, everyone has a monitoring capability. Error handling is available across the board. Scheduling options are also available. Learning curve, if you look at it, DataStage is slightly difficult. From a Talend perspective, the drag drop part is very easy, but if you want to go to an advanced level, Java knowledge is a must. From a change control perspective, SAP Informatica DataStage and Talend offers amazing version control mechanism, but SSIS does not. Auto documentation is available in SAP Informatica, SAP Tools, Informatica, and DataStage. Auto documentation helps you to understand the implementation of a particular data flow or a workflow if you're trying to learn and understand the system. A data lineage, which is a very powerful feature, is not available in SSIS, but it is available in all the other tools. So this gives you a quick take on the operational features, apart from the criteria that we discussed. However, if you are really looking to choose on how to integrate, how do you choose on how to integrate? So there should be several other dimensions that needs to be considered if you're trying to choose your integration platform. So starting with the types of data that you want to bring in, the variety of options that you want for connectivity, the scalability needs in your enterprise, do you want testing automation or not? And the cloud on-prem hybrid, where are you with respect to the different options of landscape management, and is the roadmap of the tool aligning with your expectation? And how lean and agile the tool is? Does it support rapid development? what is the data quality need of the enterprise? Do you want to even get into data quality at the current context? Are you looking at a tool which separates these two offerings, or are you looking at a tool that brings both best of both worlds into the same designer? And data profiling becoming very important these days, because when business analysts and power users start doing self preparation of data, the capability and the extensiveness that data profiling gives is going to play a major role, because they will understand the profiling aspects of the data. They want to understand the variety or the disparity that is available in the data set in order to move on with a particular analytics initiative. So the data profiling capability, the needs will be different for the development community, which is going to put the jobs together on batch schedule, as against the community which is going to look for data preparation. And comes operational effectiveness, which is very important for your housekeeping activities. You need alerts proactively if something fails. You need to restart a job. Automatic recovery mechanisms are very important. Does it start at the collection of jobs level? Does it start at a single data flow level? What are all the capabilities that you've got? Can you set the number of times it can restart when it fails? All those plays an important role on how, if you're trying to choose an integration tool. By any chance, do you have many tools that are doing data integration for you? Well, that's a common situation that we notice across multiple customers that we deal with. So how do you consolidate, right? From a consolidation perspective, things are really simple. So we just given a very few thinking points here. Your enterprise landscape has a roadmap. Your tool capability also brings a roadmap with it. Do they align? Does it match? And that is going to be very important, because if your tool is too fast in cloud and they are moving completely in cloud, possibly your landscape may not want to embrace that now. Or if you want to go to cloud and the tool is lagging behind, that may also be a problem. So those are the considerations that you do in terms of the vision sync, and evaluate existing tool licenses and usage to figure out if all of the tools are being used. If some of it is sparingly used or not at all being used, you can look at the options of bringing those data movement jobs into another tool which is likely to stay. And landscape fragmentation is actually one of the major pain points. Possibly there is a requirement that came through from one business function which was implemented using a particular mechanism or a tool, and another business function had a requirement which was not evaluated in the same approach, but it was implemented using a different tool, which created landscape fragmentation and possibly even different databases used for targets and whatnot. This is also common, but when a end-to-end vision is available and a complete assessment is done before embarking on any initiative, avoiding landscape fragmentation is going to really pay off in the long run in terms of consolidating data integration tools. Other things to consider: selection of DI tools should be skill-based. It's very important to assess the skill that is available in-house, because the learning curve will be less and people can hit the ground running right from day one. The fitment of the tool in the ecosystem is very important. Let's say you are all over SAP, and for some reason, if Informatica has to be chosen, yes, it can accomplish all your integration needs, but is it the wise choice is a different question. So we need to see the fitment into the ecosystem and how well we can choose the tool that will fit into the ecosystem and deliver results. Optimize consulting expenses is important, because every initiative you may not be engaging a whole lot of consulting to be done. So you need to optimize that as well. And more often than not, if you want to bring data from system A and push it into system B, if you are not able to establish some kind of an integration mode in between, generally A spits out a file and B consumes it using one of the tools that is available. So a very strict no to file interchange is actually going to change the way data integration is looked at, and this is going to avoid a lot of mess and a lot of housekeeping burden that is going to come about. So if no to file interchange is taken as a motto, then it's very easy to integrate all the DI problems that you have, and you can overcome all the DI problems that you have. Enterprise data vision and tool roadmap should be aligned. This is the same point I'm reiterating here, because your enterprise data vision or data landscape vision should align with the tool, so that you don't do an investment today which you have to worry about in the future. So you have to always future-proof your investment by taking the right tool that has the right roadmap that aligns with your vision. If you're looking at streamlining your data integration, so what are you going to do? So we have given a step-based approach here, a very simple model which can help you streamline your data integration, and from there help you to build a very a complex or a sophisticated DI strategy. So you audit the system, you assess the system in terms of data integration needs. If you're evaluating some of the tools, you take the tools and you execute a POC. When you do a POC, you have to make sure you don't use minimal data from sandboxes or spreadsheet data that can actually help you complete your POC fast. Always try to use the live connection and mimic the data volume that you may encounter in your production as much as possible. And with the results in POC, ensure there is a vision sync in terms of alignment between the enterprise roadmap for data management against the tools roadmap. And once they all come together, you can deploy and see for the results. Once you are there, you can optimize the implementation that you have done, and you can think about housekeeping in terms of doing a lot of health check enhancements. You can look at the disk space, you can do audit, you can send automated reports on your batch schedule, you can do a whole lot of things. Plus, housekeeping also takes care of sunsetting some of the old systems, retiring some of the ETL tools that you don't use, retiring some of the source systems or target system that is not being used, so that these steps are giving you a mechanism to actually streamline your data integration. And from this point, you are ready to take on a journey where you can accommodate a very wide vision DA strategy that will put your enterprise definitely on an overdrive. So with that, we'll quickly move on to the Q&A section. Many of you have checked whether the presentation will be available after the webinar. Yes, we will be emailing you the presentation and the replay link as well. In the interest of time, I'll take a quick question here in terms of SAP Landscape. How would you choose between BODS and SDI is one of the questions. If you have target systems other than SAP HANA, BODS is the way to go. If you are looking at only SAP HANA as your target, and HANA is going to be an important platform that you will be using for your data warehousing, then you, in the interest of moving to cloud and having more possibility of integration with SCP, that is SAP Cloud Platform, SDA can be adopted unless there will be other target requirements which will be non-HANA. So in the given context, if you have non-HANA targets, definitely SAP BODS is the way to go. If you have any other requirements in terms of there is no non-HANA target, only HANA is there, then SDI is better to be adopted. And quickly, I would like to show you the upcoming webinars that has been planned at Visual BI. In the interest of time, remaining answers will be emailed to you. We have a couple of webinars that is coming up, capitalizing on SAP's convergence strategy. And we also have traditional BI tools, SAP Business Objects versus SAC, and Tableau, Power BI, ClickSense, and Spotfire. Definitely tune into these webinars. Thank you for your time. I feel amazing presenting this webinar. I hope you also enjoyed. Please watch out for the replay link and also the presentation that will be emailed to you. And thanks again for your time this morning. Have a wonderful day.